Oh, beautiful love. Computer, computer love. Looking for my computer love. Hey. Computer love. You know I've been searching for someone who can share that special love with me. And your eyes have that glow. Could it be your face I see on my computer screen? You're a special girl. Shared in my computer world. No longer need astrology. Thanks to my technology.
I'm Tavis, Smiley. Glad to have you with us in this hour of our program. A couple of conversations in this hour. We start with Tish Taylor, Program Director for Concerned Citizens of St. John and resident of Cancer Alley in Louisiana. Let me just read a few short paragraphs from a Washington Post story that I think will properly frame this conversation that I want to have with Tish Taylor here in just a second. I read now from the Washington Post. The Trump administration has axed nearly 24 projects addressing health and environmental issues in Southern Black communities. A Washington Post analysis has found, reversing years of work to address pollution, sewage leaks, flooding, and more. Rural Alabama counties lost a $14 million grant to upgrade sanitation systems so decrepit that some residents have contracted hookworm. A historically Black Virginia neighborhood won't receive a $20 million grant to stop severe flooding. In Louisiana, multiple federal efforts have been halted. A Justice Department lawsuit against a corporation accused of worsening cancer risk in a predominantly Black neighborhood, the designation of one area as a National Historic Landmark to limit industrialization, and grants from the EPA to support monitoring air quality in Cancer Alley, an 80-mile stretch of mostly Black towns and villages hit hard by industrial pollution. The Trump administration, writes the Washington Post, said the changes are needed to curb government spending. Officials have also linked some Biden-era climate programs to diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives that President Donald Trump and his top aides have said amount to illegal discrimination. There, you have the frame as set by the Washington Post for what's happening. Enter now Tish Taylor to this conversation. Tish, how are you today?
I'm fine. That's overwhelming. Just listening to you say all of those things.
Yeah, it is.
Crazy.
It's overwhelming to read. So I've set the frame. Take it away from me. Unpack some of what I just read.
Okay, so in 2016, EPA held an emergency meeting in our community, told us we had the highest risk of cancer in the United States. And it was due to emissions from the DuPont now Dinka facility that's actually been running this neoprene plant in reserve since the late 60s. So we've been experiencing unregulated amounts of toxic chemicals, of one of their toxic chemicals, for over 50 years. So when they came and they brought that information, my dad was actually attending that meeting.
Mhm.
And he started Concerned Citizens of St. John so that we can advocate for the government to actually make these people adhere to the new regulation, which was 0.2 micrograms per cubic meter of air. I become a chemist, a scientist, everything.
Yeah.
So we have the highest risk of cancer just from that one chemical, 50 times the national average of cancer. St. John the Baptist Parish is where I call the center of Cancer Alley. We had the highest COVID death rate per capita in the United States in 2020, and March and April of 2020. We have the highest asthma related emergency room and hospitalizations in the state, and top 5 in the country. Um, it's just like everything bad that can happen is here. We're number 1 for the worst, and of course we're number 49, number 99 for the best. We have the high rates of preterm births in the country. As per Tulane Environmental Law Clinic, they did a study that showed that petrochemical industries in our parish, St. John the Baptist Parish, make us number 1 in the country for not hiring the people in the community. So although we make up over 90% of the population along the river where these facilities are emitting all of these toxins, we are probably less than 10% of their employees. And that doesn't matter if they're sweeping or if they're the plant manager. No position is available for the people who are being poisoned every day.
Hold that thought, Tish. Just getting started here with Tish Taylor. I want to pick up on that notion when we come forward here. But every time if these words leave my lips, leave my mouth, it just it does something to me, that there is a place in this country where these toxins, where the environmental racism is so stringent that they actually call it Cancer Alley. Just think about that for a second. That it is so bad in this neck of the woods that they literally call it Cancer Alley. More with Tish Taylor when we come forward on Tavis, Smiley.
Interrogating and unpacking.
That's what we do around here.
You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Hey, KBLA 1580 delegation, your health matters to us. We know that information is power, especially when it comes to prevention and treatment. That's why we're proud to introduce the brand new KBLA Health and Wellness Hub. This online space is built just for you, connecting our community to trusted health resources, culturally relevant care, and even access to diverse clinical trials and emerging therapies. Whether you're looking for information on common conditions, mental health support, or just want to stay on top of your wellness journey, we got you. And the best part, it's all on our website at kbla1580.com. Accessible, empowering, community focused. So just go to kbla1580.com and click on the Health and Wellness Hub icon, because knowledge is power and your health is everything. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
It does indeed, with Tish Taylor, Program Director for Concerned Citizens of St. John, an institution organization started by her father, and she is continuing the work and witness that he first established. Before I get back to the point you were making a moment ago, Tish, about the fact that in Cancer Alley, they can poison Black people, but they can't employ Black people. We'll come back to that in just a second. But just just how do we process, as I said a moment ago, that this neighborhood, this geographic area, is so bad off that they literally call it Cancer Alley? How do we process that?
How do you process the whole area first being labeled as a sacrifice zone? We have sacrifice zones all over the world, and it just so happens that that was the first stage of becoming Cancer Alley, designating the people who've actually survived slavery and were able to purchase beautiful plots of land along the river, not understanding that what they were buying wasn't to build generational wealth, but that every plantation along that river was going to become an industrial facility that's going to poison you from generations to go. And so sacrifice zone to Cancer Alley to now we're fighting every day just for the basic rights to breathe clean air, to have clean water and soil, and to have a healthy life. And that does not exist in Reserve, St. John Parish, nor in the whole corridor of Cancer Alley.
The word that phrase Cancer Alley, again, just it does something to me every time I say it. But so does the phrase sacrifice zones. Think about what Tish is saying. Here we are in the richest nation in the history of the world. Here we are in this democracy, and we actually abide the notion that there are parts of this country that we just identify as sacrifice zones. We're just sacrificing the lives, the legacies, the contributions, the hopes and dreams, the aspirations. We're just sacrificing all of that in these zones. The fact that term even exists. We talked earlier in today's program about the Christian right and this term they've introduced called toxic empathy. And as you recall from our first hour, if you were listening, I hope you were, it was an amazing conversation with Jim Wallace, just talking about this notion of toxic empathy. I can't imagine that Jesus would ever abide such a thing as toxic empathy. Those two words don't even fit together. But you think about sacrifice zones, that in these zones across the country, we're just literally sacrificing the lives of everyday people who more often than not happen to be poor and Black and brown. Anyway, let me leave that alone for a second, because there's a lot to wrestle with there, and I don't even want to go there. But just that term, sacrifice zones, just makes my skin crawl in some ways. But you were talking a moment earlier, Tish, moments ago, I should say, about the fact that we can poison our people in this corridor called Cancer Alley, but we can't employ our people. Finish your point. Tell me more.
Oh, no. The insides of these petrochemical industries do not look like the community that they're in. Most of the people that are employed travel outside. They live outside of the parish. And unfortunately, that means that they don't pay property taxes because they don't live here. They don't, we Southerners, we make groceries. They don't make groceries here. They go to their parish and make groceries. They go to where their water is safe to drink and their air is safe to breathe. And we don't have that opportunity. We have no say-so. Everything is done and decided for us by the state, and the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality does not regulate, have never regulated, and it didn't matter who was the governor or in any position. This is a state that's pretty much brought by the petrochemical industry and the Chemical Association.
Yeah. I started this conversation by giving some sense of all these projects, about 22, that the Trump administration has turned its back on when it comes to environmental racism. How do you process living in this corridor called Cancer Alley. But then a president comes to office who turns his back on funding the kinds of programs that clean up this mess, that support these communities. Again, some 22 projects that are now being just not funded. They just pulled the money back, and they've said, of course, that we need to save money and we need to curb government spending was the phrase they use. They've justified it by saying we need to curb government spending. But how do you process sort of being abandoned, or put another way, being left behind all over again?
It's difficult sometimes to just get up knowing so much, knowing that the place that you were born and raised, where generations of people have been, and where your loved ones are dying or have died, to know that it's okay because we look a certain way. It's okay because we're descendants of slaves. It's okay to just kill them. It's okay. And if we give them anything, they don't deserve it. When President Trump when the Department of Justice dropped the lawsuit against Stinker, I mean, that was unbelievable because of DEI. Everything that the Biden administration did, none of it included one word about an ethnicity or a race. It did not put Black, brown, no race at all, because they knew it would have been just thrown away. So they removed words like diversity out of the whole, everything that they did when Biden was in office. So for him to say DEI, the only thing he can say is that it would have protected Black people.
Yeah.
So that means we don't deserve to be protected.
Yeah.
It's just unreal. He's dropped so many of the protections that were in place. It was pretty much forcing these petrochemical industries to lower their emissions and giving them time. He opened up a website so they can come in and request more time, which means they're just going to poison us longer and longer. And the funding that was given to us through the Justice 40 programs, I mean, we've made, wonderful progress. But he's removing everything that we had to protect us and give us the right just to be healthy.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Living it. I do toxic tours. We talk about this. We share this story. And it's like every day of my life, I wake up wondering what chemicals are in the air, or wondering if my next doctor's visit is going to be bad news, like it's been for my mom, who just passed away in December, for my brother that's in the hospital right now, for my sister who gets infusions every week of her life. It's unreal how we're surrounded by death and people fighting for their lives and people taking care of people that's fighting for their lives. And then to find out that there's no hope because nobody even cares about it.
Yeah.
They won't do a health study, nothing. It's just, it's hard. It's hard to just get out of bed.
You mentioned these toxic tours. That just hit me pretty hard. This is radio, of course. Paint a picture for me. Illustrate for me what these toxic tours are.
Well, they're toxic offenders, which means if you, I'll bring you along the river road. We have a levee that protects us from the Mississippi River, but along the side, front property, right along the river, which we thought at one time was the prime real estate, is now filled with lights. You can hear this hissing sound constantly in the background of your daily lives. Big plumes of fire where they're burning out chemicals and emitting them in the air. And it's just, they're just lined up all around from one, neighborhood to another. We normally bring you through the cemetery where my dad's family is interred, and Marathon Oil has pretty much purchased the church property and fenced around the whole graveyard. So we're still burying our families there. We buried my nanny a couple of years ago there. But my dad's whole family, siblings, parents, grandparents, every generation, it's buried there. But you have to go through the plant to get to it. And like I said, all you hear is the hissing. There's the noise. There's the pipes with the smoke coming out of it. It's just unbelievable. And the nighttime sky, our skyline is a sight because it's filled with lights and smoke and darkness. And it's hard to believe that we have beautiful homes. We have people who work hard. My dad is a retired general contractor. We have people who are self-employed and people who actually work at plants in other parishes. And we have nice homes. We have sections that are low, very low income, but we have middle class families who bought homes and built homes for their families for generations. And now, what do you do with it? It's not safe for your family to live there, and there's no job opportunities for them as well. So, it's just sad. We can't sell a property to anyone. Who would we want to live in the most deadly place in the country?
No.
We wouldn't do that.
I want to ask a question, but I want to preface it with this. The question is, why stay? If you're in a sacrifice zone, if you are a resident of Cancer Alley in St. John the Baptist Parish, the question is, why stay? Now, before you answer that, I want to be fair here. We could ask that question of any of us. I'm sitting in Los Angeles right now, and my family back east in the Midwest keep asking me, why are you staying? The big one's coming one day. And every time they see news of an earthquake, they ask me, Tavis, how much longer are you going to stay out in California? I could ask this question of people in Oklahoma with tornadoes. Why stay? I could ask this question of people all down south. Why stay in hurricane zones? So any of us can ask, we could ask any of ourselves the question, why stay wherever we are? But how would you answer that question to folk listening right now? You are in Cancer Alley. How do you respond to the question as to why you stay there?
I don't have the funds to move. First of all, will I sell my property, which is value is very low because we live in Cancer Alley, to someone else so that they can get sick? How can I pick up 20 generations of my family and take them with me to protect them? I can't pick up generations of my family and leave. I can abandon them. And I understand that if I could, I promise you, I would be advocating a little further away from here. But the issue is we can't just financially just up and move. Where are we going? We're people who stay together generations wise. And all we need is for the government to actually just regulate the petrochemical industries that they let come into our communities, give them tax breaks to come in, and they don't hire us. And then I just need to leave because somebody decided to put these things on top of us. I don't think, I mean, my generations have been here before a petrochemical facility was ever built in St. John the Baptist Parish. We're going back hundreds of years. So who are they? That would make me feel like I need to go because they won't just be a good neighbor. Be a good neighbor. But they don't have to. They don't have to be.
I'm reading a number of messages that are coming through as we have this conversation, Tish, and this one sort of jumped out at me. Tavis, I grew up along Cancer Alley. My family worked in some of those chemical plants. My uncle worked for Danka. I have family members right now with cancer. It is heartbreaking. This is from a listener who actually lives in LA now. But there's a legacy, sadly, to Cancer Alley, and that comment just sort of jumped out at me. So I got just 90 seconds here left. You stay and you fight. And I've asked this question of others on this program in the past. I ask it of you, Tish Taylor. How do you sustain your hope every day? You mentioned earlier it's hard to get out of bed some days. With the 60 seconds I have left, how do you sustain your hope?
I have a beautiful grandson, and I have nieces and nephews. And I plan to do my best to make sure that they have a healthier future than what I had. There's no more chloroquine in the air in St. John the Baptist Parish. They could shut down. We had a part of that. And so it did help. What we did helped, and we will fight until the end.
As we say around here, when we fight, we win. And I'm grateful for the fight of Tish Taylor and so many others. who are residents of Cancer Alley in Louisiana. Again, it's sad, sick and sad, frankly, sick and sad to see the way that the Trump administration is just cutting funding for all of these programs that have in the past dealt with the kind of environmental racism they're dealing with right now in Cancer Alley. I'll leave it there for now. Tish Taylor, you hear my thoughts and prayers. All the best to you. Thank you for coming on this program.
Thank you, Tavis. Have a great day.
You do the same. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Homeland Security is tightening security at ICE facilities nationwide after a deadly shooting in Dallas. This man said he was working nearby and heard the gunshots.
Pow, 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 pow. And then there was a wait for a second. Then you heard two more, and then it just stopped.
One detainee was killed, 2 injured. The shooter, Joshua John, was found dead nearby. The family of Takia Young is suing Linden Township, Ohio, and its police chief, claiming poor training and oversight led to her fatal shooting by Officer Connor Grubb. Grubb, charged with murder, says he's not guilty. A separate civil suit is also underway. And Kamala Harris brought her book tour to New York, promoting her memoir, 107 Days. Pro-Palestinian protesters interrupted her speech, where she called the situation in Gaza outrageous. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Take a break from the mundane and escape to something a little more fabulous with the first ever fabulous 5-day sale. From today through this Friday, September 26th, find deals at all your favorite Vegas hotels. Plan your fabulous escape and learn more at visitlasvegas.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The magic number for the Dodgers to clinch the NL West Division title is down to 1. The Dodgers hung on to beat Arizona 5-4 in 11 innings Wednesday night. Wednesday afternoon, San Diego lost to Milwaukee, putting the Dodgers in position to wrap up the title today in a day game at Arizona. A win for the Dodgers or a loss by San Diego gives the Dodgers their 12th NL West title in 13 years. First pitch today at 12:40. The LA Sparks are making plans to build a $150 million practice facility in El Segundo. It's the first time in the 28-year history of the WNBA franchise that the Sparks will have their own practice facility and headquarters. The building, which will take up 55,000 square feet, is scheduled to open in 2027. The Lakers also have their practice headquarters in El Segundo. Speaking of the Lakers, their first day of training camp is Monday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Metro Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZQL Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
1455 Frazee, San Diego. CordellCordell.com.
More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley, an actor and comedian Jacquis Neal, host of the new program Crowd Control on Dropout TV and the live experience Comedian Clash. Delighted to have him on the final hour of today's program to offer his take on this momentous weekend. What a week it was for comedy and free speech. Before I jump into the conversation, here now some sound from Crowd Control.
You want me to say which serial killer I think you look like?
I'm holding a salad.
Extreme dental. It's like regular dental, but on a snowboard.
Welcome to Crowd Control. I have three of my favorite comedians here to turn your lives into stand-up comedy.
An old woman put a curse on me. I ate 60 apples in 2 days.
A bear broke into my bedroom and stole my weed.
About doing some good old-fashioned crowd work.
I'm not here for your life story. I'm here for a setup so I can be funny about it.
Comics, pick a shirt and make it content.
We run the puppet adoption agency.
So you sell puppets?
Do you do adult baby stuff?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why would you say that?
Have you ever opened it? Oh, opened what? Girl.
You are horny.
Have you been bad? That's a dominatrix thing. Will you tell me that I'm like a good little piggy?
If you ask nicely.
It's time to go to the danger zone. See a red flag shirt? Make us laugh with it.
Accidental arsonist. It's so brave of you to remain in LA.
I am a member of the Bush family.
My dad faked his death and fled the country.
Oh my God. It sounds like Dad's bad.
I'm actually under an NDA.
So this is a dead end and I've ruined the show.
I throw down the mic and I just start sobbing.
I take offense. I haven't cried once today.
My great-grandparents were brother and sister.
Stop, I'm already horny.
I sell skull replicas out of a creepy baby carriage.
I don't even have any more questions. Like you told us what we needed to know.
You guys ready for the show?
All right, Jacquis Neal, tell me about Crowd Control.
Awesome. First, thank you for having me on, Tavis. Crowd Control is a fun show where we have taken the more popular art right now of crowd work and have made it a competition show. So the way we do it, it's on Dropout TV, which is a comedy streaming program, or network, I should say. And the way we do it is we put shirts on everybody in the audience. They have prompts on their shirts. Some are a little more salacious than others. And our comedians get up on stage, see a shirt, pick a shirt, and start to mine that audience member for material to do some crowd work. And we have games throughout the episode as well. And it's just such a good time. It's Dropout TV's first live studio show. And it's probably our most raunchiest, little edgiest show that the network has ever had. So I'm pretty excited to be the host of it. It's been a fun time.
Conceptually, where'd that idea come from?
So conceptually, with crowd work being what every stand-up comedian is kind of putting online to get followers and engagement nowadays, Dropout wanted to enter into the stand-up world, because right now is mostly a sketch comedy, improv comedy, and tabletop network. But we wanted to get a little more edgy, hit a new demographic, and we have a program on the network called Game Changer. And we used it as a backdoor pilot. So the pilot episode on Game Changer, which I did not host, had Josh Johnson, who is very funny, Gianmarco Ceresi, and a couple other comedians, and it just did really well. And we were like, let's spin it off. I got offered the show because I do things at Dropout, and we just kind of wanted to hit the stand-up space but still be true to our improv, off the top of the dome roots. And so the best way to do that was what every stand-up comedian is kind of excelling in right now, or trying to at least, which is crowd work.
Talk to me about improv, about the nature of crowd work. It seems to me, and I have first of all, I love comedians. I love comedy shows. I have great respect for their gift. But it seems to me that it is one thing to stand up and to do your act, as it were. You have time to work through that, to write the jokes, to test it, to try it out. And you stand up and you do your act. And if you're lucky or you're blessed, it gets recorded for Netflix or some other network, and they show your stuff. But it's you're doing your act. That's obviously very different than looking at a T-shirt out in the audience with something on it and immediately going into improv. That's a very different sort of muscle. To the extent you can talk about the gift, the skill of using that particular comedic muscle.
Yeah, it's so different because, like you said, stand-up comedy, which is a very hard profession, but because there's a lot of failure. That is the art of stand-up. Is you're writing jokes, you're seeing what works. Audiences are never the same. So an act that may work in one audience may not, hit as hard in another audience. So you're working that muscle of learning how to read a crowd and do your act, right? But with improv in general, especially as it relates to on stage doing stand-up, you do not know what you're going to get. So your job is to connect to the audience, and you're really just kind of showing your funny bone, right? Because in improv, we have what we call different types of improvisers. You have what we call like a robot brain, that's more of a writer, more analytical, still very funny, still valuable in the stand-up world. And you have what you call like a pirate brain, which is more off the cuff, more silly, can kind of take what you give and give what you got, So crowd work is kind of using that brain, but you're still writing because you still want people to laugh. It's still your profession. So it's a really hard muscle to work, and it's math. A lot of people don't think of comedy in that way, but it is math, where you're kind of thinking, all right, if A happens, B happens. If C happens, I can go D, E, or F. If F happens, I can go back to A and work my way back all the way down, So, it is a skill. It still is a skill that you have a muscle and you work it. The whole 10,000 hours thing in the improv world is, you got to put your hours in and you got to fail a lot to work that muscle. But the beauty of it is it may not work.
To your point that it may not work, it seems to me that if you're a producer of a show like this, every episode you're walking a tightrope, because you never know what you're going to get, and that's a tricky thing when you're trying to produce. You know what you're hoping for. You know what the expected outcome is, but in this sort of improv lane, again, you don't know what you're going to get from a production standpoint.
You don't. No, you don't know. And I will say, we have 6 episodes in this first season.
Right.
And every episode was almost completely different from an audience perspective. So which was very fun for me as a host and as somebody who also worked on the show behind the scenes as well. So, we take care of our comedians. For instance, every episode is 45 minutes around, and every episode shooting was about an hour and a half. So there is about half of the show on the cutting room floor.
Wow.
So because of that, and we do that purposefully for that very reason, because we may hit an audience member and at the end of the show, we may say, whew, that was rough.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because that can happen.
Yeah.
That can happen. So from a production standpoint, you don't know what you're going to get, but I think the trust of, we do have some really amazing comedians. And as the host of the show, if I notice anything kind of going off the rails, or if I see a comedian not hitting as hard as they would like or anything like that, I can kind of step in, move the show in the way that I want to, or I can just end it and say, let's move on.
I was just about to ask, what is your role primarily as host of a show designed like that?
Yeah. So from a production standpoint, my role was, one, coming up with a lot of the competition aspects of the show. So we have different rounds in the show where we say, this is kind of like a handcuff to kind of make this a little harder for you, because, you know, a seasoned stand-up comedian, crowd work does become almost second nature, right? So that was my primary role in that aspect. And then as the host, my role is, as a host in anything I do, is to make sure the people on stage are having fun, because if they are having fun, that translates. I think a lot of time hosts worry about the audience, and of course we worry about the audience. But if the person you are connecting with and the person and the people you are actually hosting the show with are not enjoying themselves, being a fly on that wall is a lot more hard than it is to be a fly on a wall of people enjoying themselves and having a good time. So my job as a host is to make sure the energy is good, make sure things don't go on too long. If I'm noticing something that needs to go in a certain direction, I can kind of point it in that direction, and just to bring the charisma and the energy to the room, and let these comedians do what they've spent hours and lots of money training to do. So, you know, at that point it's easy.
No, as I said earlier, this has been a momentous week for comedy and free speech. We'll get into some of that with Jacquis Neal when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
From the Mert Park with love, this is Tavis Smiley.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte. Let's preserve Black land stories before they're lost forever. I want to personally invite you to be a part of something historic. As journalist in residence for the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project, I've joined forces with powerhouse attorney and social justice champion George Fothery, the man who helped make history by delivering justice to the Bruce family in Manhattan Beach, securing the first known return of land unjustly taken from Black owners by a local government. That victory was monumental, but it was just the beginning. For generations, Black families have acquired land through grit, faith, and determination, only to lose it through violence, legal loopholes, forced sales, and systematic racism. What's been taken goes far beyond dirt and deeds. It's the erasure of wealth, identity, and legacy. That's why we've launched the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project, a national effort to collect, protect, and preserve the stories of Black land lost before they're buried, forgotten, or erased altogether. Because there's power in telling Black stories, there is resistance in remembering, and there's justice in being seen and heard. This is where you come in. We're inviting you to be a part of this historic Black narrative archive. If you or someone you know has experienced land loss, displacement, or forced property sales, your story deserves to be heard and remembered. Your story belongs in this archive. Your truth matters not just to your family, but to our collective future. Visit blacklandlost.org today. Fill out our simple intake form and add your voice to the National Archive of Remembrance, Resilience, and Reckoning. Let's make these stories live on, not in whispers, but on the record. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement. Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
And here's your host, Jacquis Neal.
Welcome to Crowd Control. Tonight, I have three of my favorite comedians who are here to turn your lives into stand-up comedy. And they're going to do so by doing some good old-fashioned crowd work, which means that if the show is a disaster, they are going to blame all of you. But at the end of tonight's show, you all will be choosing the winner. Oh, that's right. Like voting, the power's in your hands. We can do better than we did the last one. And you are going to choose that winner, one of these three fantastic comedians. Let's talk to him right now. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing tonight?
Jacquis Neal is the host of the new program, Crowd Control, on Dropout TV, and there's a live experience called Comedian Clash. Tell me about Comedian Clash before I go forward, Jacquis.
Yeah, Comedian Clash is, I'm a game show person, you know. The person who made me want to act in my life was a game show host, Mark Summers, from back in the day, Double Dare, and I grew up watching Bob Barker, so I love game shows, and Comedian Clash is a game show that has similar bones to Family Feud. And I was on Celebrity Feud a couple years ago, and I really enjoy the celebrity aspect of it because everybody's there to just have fun and, you know, riff on each other and also get competitive with the actual game. So Comedian Clash is that. We invite celebrities and TV stars and comedians onto the show. Is live in LA. We play a version of Family Feud, not exactly Family Feud, but we have a good time. We have a stand-up in the middle, and we also invite audience members to play the winners of the game. We have real prizes on the line, so, you know, people aren't just playing for fun. They can get a little more competitive. And yeah, I host that kind of in the Steve Harvey role, and it's been such a joy in my live performance career so far, because I've been doing live shows for a very long time. And this has been one of my favorite things I've ever done on stage.
In our remaining moments with Jacquis Neal, we'll talk about, again, the week that was and what a week it was for comedy and free speech. I can tell you this. I was just reading this in preparation for today's program. So we all know that Jimmy Kimmel is back. And what you may not know is that Disney, their capitalization fell by $1.4 billion overnight. Their capitalization at Disney fell by $1.4 billion overnight when this Kimmel drama kicked off. It's clear to me that Disney saw those subscription cancellation numbers, and it was enough to scare them, so that a few days later they brought Jimmy Kimmel back. At least on most stations, 20% of the nation still has not seen him, because there are two companies that Nexstar and Sinclair who have decided not to broadcast that program as yet. But that boycott, those numbers sort of spoke, and people kind of were in their feelings about Disney obeying in advance, as it were. We'll talk about the week that was with regard to comedy and free speech in our remaining moments with Jacquis Neal when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Helping to stretch your moral and political imagination. This is Tavis Smiley. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Dr. Renee here. Did you know this time of year is considered peak asthma season because we typically see a spike in asthma-related hospitalization? If you have asthma and are having difficulty breathing despite medication, it's time to check in with your doctor so you can help avoid landing yourself in the hospital this season. To learn more about managing your asthma, visit www.luma-edu.com. That's LUMA-edu.com. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Made fresh daily in the Mert Park, Los Angeles, California. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
A bit of breaking news here. Amazon has just announced it has agreed to pay $2.5 billion to settle claims that it tricked tens of millions of people into signing up for its Prime membership program and then made it hard for customers to cancel when they wanted out. You could be getting $51 if you sign up, $51 per customer coming back to you. But Amazon has just announced, without admitting guilt, of course, without admitting guilt, they just decided to settle this $2.5 billion to settle these claims that it tricked its Prime customers. So if you are an Amazon Prime customer, you got $51 headed your way. So make sure you get your money. Get your money, man. Get your money, man. Jacquis Neal, I got 2 minutes left here in this conversation. Your thoughts on the week that was? It was quite the week for comedy and free speech, sir. The Jimmy Kimmel story, et cetera, et cetera. How did you process this week?
Yeah, I processed this week like many people processed it in regards to we cannot keep giving in to fascist requests.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to comedy, I'm a progressive person, so I do believe that there is no consequence and being forced to do something are two different things, right? Especially when it comes from the government. And I love that we used our voices and we used where we knew it was going to hurt to say, no, you cannot shut down this freedom of speech, especially when it comes to pushing back on a divisive voice. So I appreciate what we did as a collective to push back on the corporation of Disney and to push back against the fascism of our current government. And as a comedian, especially as a Black comedian who is outspoken, it is scary, because anything can happen, but it is also refreshing to know that as a collective, hopefully we are understanding not only the differences, but we are also understanding how important our voices are on stage, off stage, and everything in between.
It appears that Disney got the message when that capitalization dropped.
They came quick with it.
Yeah, they came quick with it. Jimmy, you are unsuspended. You are back on the air. I'll leave it there. Jacquis Neal is a host of the new program Crowd Control on Dropout TV and the guy behind the live experience comedian Clash. Your next one's what? September the 28th, I think? 28th?
September the 28th is Sunday. We do offer a live stream for people who are not in Los Angeles. The show is usually sold out in LA, but people can watch it all over the world on their computers or TVs. You can just go to my website, jacquisneal.com, and find all the info from there.
Have a great show this Sunday, Jacquis. Good to have you on the program.
Appreciate you, sir.
Just like that, 3 hours gone. Tomorrow is Friday, so tomorrow the best of Tavis Smiley. Until tomorrow, thanks for tuning in. And as always, keep the faith.